Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, this is basically the syllabus of your first module. So you can see the introduction of industrial engineering. Then we will study about the evolution and the modern concepts in industrial engineering. So these two topics I'll be dealing with today, and we will be studying the later, that is the functions of industrial engineering, field of application of industrial engineering, design functions, objectives of the design, then development of prototype, and then its production, then its testing. So these are the developments coming under design, and the human factors that is affecting in the design of the product. Then comes the principles required for good product design. So how to, what are the principles that have to be followed for designing a good product. Then comes the tolerance design, then quality and cost considerations, the product life cycle. So how is the product formed, and what is its life cycle or the period of the product production and its life. Then we are dealing with the standardization, simplification, and diversification of the product. Then comes concurrent engineering. It is one of the parts that is present inside product design engineering. Then comes the comparison of production alternatives. Then we will discuss about the economic aspects, and we are studying about CVP analysis with some problems. So this is this is the overview of the module one, and that we have, well, that will be dealing. Then this is the sample of your question paper. So you can see a 3 hour question papers with 100 marks and 5 modules, part A and part B given. So part A carries 3 marks, and while part B, each question carries 14 marks. So okay, this is the basic layout of your question paper. Okay, next we will start. So, what is basically an industrial engineering? So, it is defined here. So, I have given you the definition before. It is defined as a profession in which a knowledge of mathematical and natural sciences gained by the study, experience, and practice is applied with judgment to develop the base to utilize economically the materials and other natural resources and forces of nature for the benefit of mankind. This is the definition for industrial engineering. So what it says is that it's a profession in which the knowledge of mathematical and natural sciences. So earlier we were using raw calculations by means of eye and even uh, thumb length and all. We will look at such a profession was used before, and then due to the learning of mathematical and the sciences that we have seen today in today's world, and which we are learning nowadays, we apply that into the design of, we apply that in various components are provided here. So there are various structures that is provided here. So to create all these structures, we are using specified um, methods of production, or specified machines for the production of these components, and we are applying the mathematical and the sciences that we have learned into the study and the design of these products, so as to increase its production and to economically use the materials. So the materials that we have been available here is the raw material that is obtained from the earth, that are basically minerals, even we will get sunlight, air, wind. So these are all natural resources. And then various resources that you can, from the natural resources, we can artificially create other resources, and these resources also can be used for the production of these components. So we are applying the knowledge of mathematical and natural sciences into uh, into our old practices and producing the materials by using producing the product by using materials and the natural resources from the earth, and even forces of nature. So forces of nature, we know that wind is one force of nature, then comes water, we are using hydroelectric projects, then comes sunlight, another force of nature that we will use for the means of solar collectors and etc. So these are also used for all these things are used for the benefit of mankind. So in nowadays, each and everything is used for reducing the human effort that is obtained, uh, to reduce the human effort for each and every purpose or each and every job, and for that purposes various products are being produced. And even nowadays, even various studies are done even to reduce the human effort, and these are all done by applying the mathematical and natural sciences, by studying it, then experiencing it, and then practicing it. So first you study, you train a certain group of individuals for that particular function, and then after a period of working they gain some experience on how to do it, and then based on the practice and their practices, they learn the knowledge continuously and they become experts in such a genre. So that is what is happening here. And then they utilize the materials in various processes. So you know that we will get natural resources from the earth that are in the form of ores, such as the iron ore, gold ore, and such as ores are being obtained from the earth. And these natural resources can be purified and then converted into any material for various purposes. So one such material is stainless steel that we will use in knives, even nails, etc. And this is formed by obtaining the iron ore, and we are refining the iron ore into iron, and then introducing certain chemicals into it, such as carbon. We are introducing carbon into the iron, and then it becomes stainless steel. So that is one of the processes of producing a product. And from that product, from the raw material that is a product, from the material that is a stainless steel, we are deriving various products. So that is how industrial engineering is being applied in the field of industrial engineering. Then next is the American Institute of Industrial Engineers. They have defined industrial engineering as industrial engineering is concerned with the design, improvement, and installation of integrated system of men, materials, and equipments. So this is what is given as the apt definition of American Institute of Industrial Engineers, in a short form AIIE. So they have defined industrial engineering as the design, improvement, and installation. So first you are designing, we are designing a product, and this product after further use we are improving it based on the usage and how to reduce the human effort. So we are improving it, then installing it. After improvement, first we are designing, then improving it for the better purpose and its for its life and all, and then we are installing it to various places. And these are done by integrated system of, it is done by the integrated system of men, materials, and equipment. So we are using men as labor, and they do the work of converting the materials, that is the raw materials or the materials that we are artificially creating, and these materials are used to derive a product using equipments. So this is how where the production of a product is done. So we are using men, and these people convert the materials that is obtained using the equipments into a product. Okay, and this product is first designed, then improved. We are improving the product for using the product for longer period, and then we are installing the product. So this is how there are three sciences involved in industrial engineering. So there is technical sciences that involves the sciences in engineering field, that is physics, and the mathematics and etc. Such sciences are under technical sciences. Then comes human sciences, the training of the humans and the practices they have to do to run the equipment for sufficient production of the product. Then comes economic sciences. So economic sciences deals with the how to reduce the cost and increase the amount of production. So we are doing certain things without any wastage. So when we reduce the wastage, that much economy is obtained. So you don't have to invest much capital into the production of the product when we are looking for an economic system. So for that study, we are using economic sciences. So these sciences constitute an industrial engineering. So under economic science, you can see it will deal with the productivity. So we'll look at the productivity, how to run the productivity in economic conditions. Then comes the finance. So it will we will study about the finance, how much capital we are investing, how much we are getting as profit, how much loss is incurred. So such are coming under economic sciences. Then comes inventory. So we have to purchase various raw materials for the production of the product, and also the amount of product is that is required for the production is also coming under inventory. So these are also studied under economic sciences. Then organization. So the organization is made up of humans, equipments, materials, and these are all we have to incur various capitals for each and everything here. So we are giving capitals for men, material, and equipment. So this comes under the industry, and these studies constitute the economic sciences. In human sciences, we have a leadership quality. So we have various hierarchy in human sciences. There are workers, then comes supervisors. Is controlled by another person. Then comes CEO, and various post engineers, etc., are coming under human sciences. So for a small product itself, various departments are provided for uh, finalizing the output of the product, and various departments does various jobs for the production of the product. Then comes technical sciences. So under technical sciences, there is basically designing and the mechanics study. So they are testing the device, and also they are designing it. Then improvement also comes under technical sciences. Then there is a under industrial study, there is another three parts, that is the time study, management, and ergonomics. So then there is also work study and the quality. So these are the components that are present inside a industrial engineering. So you can also include the definition of industrial engineering using based on these three technical sciences. Okay, next is the evolution of industrial engineering. So it is considered to start with uh, with the industrial revolution that has been occurred in England. So it is first reported at England, and in the mid 18th century. So in the 18th century, it is thought to begin at England. So they have applied their sciences and converted the animal power. So we were using animal powers for various operations in throughout our day. So one of the so many situations are there. Even for travel we used horses for either traveling with a horse or by pulling a carriage. These are all driven by a horse. Then in blacksmith areas or a smithy, we were using bullocks or donkeys for running the mills. Okay, these were all run by animal power. So when industrial revolution took over, we were replacing the replacing the animal power that we have been used for various operation to machine power. So machines were discovered, and each machine performs a particular uh, function and replaced the animal in that particular field. So, from Britain, the Industrial Revolution gradually spread throughout Europe and United States. So, it was considered to start from England, and then gradually spread to Europe and United States. Okay. So, what is basically industrial revolution? It is the name given to the moment in which machines change the people's way of life as well as their manufacture of methods of manufacturing. It's a way of life. So, industrial revolution occurred by changing the people's way of life by using machines. Okay, by producing a product or for various job operations, we used machines. So, when machines changed the people's way of life from animal power to machine power, it is termed as that moment is termed as, or the change is termed as industrial revolution. So it is basically believed to happen between 18th and 19th century. A major change from or a major industrial revolution occurred during the 18th and 19th century. So during that time, the machine power replaced animal power. So that is what we have been seen here. So this is an example of a steam engine. So you can see this is a steam engine, and we are using the steam engine to produce power, and this power is then transmitted for various purposes. So you can see there is a big gear, a wheel of gear, and it is then transmitted to another gear, which this power can be used for conversion of this power can be used for various applications. So one such application is the running of a mills. Mills basically the powdering of various elements, or even to run various rotating components inside a industry. So these are all done by the steam engine that is shown here. So this is a steam engine, and this power is then transmitted by this linkage. You can see a linkage here, and it drives the gear wheel that is shown here, and this gear wheel then transmits the power to this gear wheel that is connected here, and then it is utilized for various purpose. So this is how it changed. So the change from animal power to machine power. So machine power completely replaced the application of this mill. So it is a steam powered mill that is shown here. So, industrial revolution took place in four stages. You can see how the four stages are located here. So, first industrial revolution took place under mechanical manufacturing, then and water and steam operated engineering. So, one basic example is a steam powered railway or a locomotive that is shown here. This is the first industrial revolution. So, first, mechanical manufacturing took place. So, what is mechanical manufacturing? Mechanical manufacturing is nothing but manufacturing of the product was done by various mechanical or machines, various mechanical machines that we have been seen, and these were used for manufacturing various products. So that is how mechanical manufacturing took over in the first industrial revolution. So that is what is the first change that occurs from animal to machine power. Then came the water and steam operated engineering. So uh, they took the application of water and steam to operate various engines and various systems to provide power. And this sufficiently run various machines, and this is how it revolutionized the first industrial revolution. Then comes the second part. So you can see an automated system where packages run through a conveyor that is shown here, that is coming under under second revolution. We can see mass production of products was done. So mass production, you can see here mass production was done, and this is done by another product will be here, another product will be here, and this will run through the conveyor, and we are producing one component under one component. Various components were produced in a whole bunch, and this is what comes under a second industrial revolution. And then the electrical operated engineering. So first, this one was in first industrial revolution, the machines only took power, but in the second industrial revolution, we were using electrically operated machines also. So sufficient motors, generators, etc., were used in second industrial revolution for the production of, for increasing the mass production of the product. Then comes the third industrial revolution, wherein it integrated automated manufacturing systems and then electronic and IT fields. So automated manufacturing systems, that is, it replaced man labor. So man labor were replaced by automated manufacturing system which handled the operations that were done by a human labor to automated systems, and it created various products and distributed. So you can see here two machines are replaced by humans that had to be present here. So these are done by machines here, but the packaging here is done by the human that is shown here. Okay, this is how automated manufacturing system has done, and it is due to the increase in the field of electronics and IT fields. So various discoveries and various components found in the electronics and IT field were integrated into the automated systems, and this automated the manufacturing process in third industrial revolution. Then the fourth industrial revolution, we are using interconnected technology, smart manufacturing, and CPS and IoT. This further reduce the human labor that has to uh, pack and mass produce the products, and also the machines here, and it was integrated to a completely automated mechanism, not fully, but a part was integrated. Majority of it is connected under interconnected technology. Then comes the smart manufacturing. So it will detect the amount of product that has to be produced and then performing various operations to complete the such a task. So that was also done under fourth industrial revolution. Then industrialization marked a shift to powered special power purpose machinery, factories and mass production. So that is what is known as industrialization. So it shifted from the human side or the machine side to powered special purpose machinery. Then factories were brought up. Then mass production of the products. These were all done under industrialization. So it shifted the old situations to powered machinery. Machines were used. Then factories were built to occupy these machineries and labors to mass produce various products. That marked the change of industrialization. Then the field of engineering continued a transition from application of rules of thumb to application of growing knowledge of science and math. So the field of engineering was introduced into the industrial engineering, and basically the field of engineering was civil engineering and mechanical engineering was introduced, and this introduction of engineering field into the industrial engineering resulted in better mass production and the development of factories and machineries inside the factories. So this is how incorporating the field of engineering uh, changed or paved way for the industrialization. During industrial revolution, engineering disciplines such as civil engineering and mechanical engineering began to emerge as identified specializations. So various specializations were created under So civil engineering came under the constructions of various different constructions of houses, buildings, machines, factories, etc. Then came mechanical engineering, designing of the components and the components used, then various devices used. These all came under the mechanical engineering. So these then paved way for the industrial revolution, wherein factories were built under civil engineering and various machines and components were produced under mechanical engineering. So these two paved way for the emergence of a specialization. So specialization in the matter of various human labors studying or engineers coming up with sufficient specialization in civil engineering and mechanical engineering. So these then resulted in a major change or drastic change in the industrial revolution period. So there were basically during the 19th century, so after the 18th century then came the 19th century. During the 19th century, the development of industrial engineering was huge, and these were incorporated by means of engineers or managers basically at United States. So engineers and managers under various specializations, basically civil and mechanical engineering, came up during late 19th century, and they became charge of various industries and promoters in 19th century, basically in United States, and this then had a huge leap or development of industrial engineering was observed in the 19th century. So basically, three people were responsible for this contribution of industrial engineering. One is Frederick Taylor, Frank Gilbert, and Harrington Emerson. So this is uh, Frederick Taylor. The one shown in the middle is Frederick Taylor. Then this is Frank Gilbert. The first one here shown is the Frank Gilbert, and this is Harrington Emerson. So these three people from residing from the United States were considered as one of the three basic engineers or managers that revolutionized or were major contributors to the industrial engineering discipline. So these are the three people responsible for the momentum of industrial engineering. And out of this, Frederick Winslow Taylor is considered as the father of industrial engineering and also as the father of scientific management. So he was considered as the father of industrial engineering and scientific father of scientific management. This is because he covered topics such as organization of work by management, worker selection, training and additional compensation for the individuals that could meet the standards as developed by the company through his method. So these are the various reasons why he was adopted or considered as the father of industrial engineering. So he can cover topics such as organization of work by management. So various management hierarchy was introduced: laborers, supervisors, CEO, engineers, etc. So such posts or such hierarchy created the organization to run by various operations to complete the work. So this is how he introduced the organization of work by management. Then comes the worker selection. So he selected the worker on basis of experience and the field, and sufficient training was provided. You can see the next point is training. Training was provided for them to attain such expertness for maximum production and economic production of the product. So he introduced the worker selection and training procedures. Then additional compensation was given to individuals that will meet the standard as developed by the company. So various standards were set in the organization or the company, and this company uh, gave additional compensation for individuals based on the risk of work. They were given extra wages or salaries, and this additional compensation resulted in better working conditions of the worker, and thereby increasing the production in the company. So this is how he earned a huge profits, and that is why he is regarded as the father of industrial engineering. And these are implemented in today's workshops even, and this resulted in economic dealing of the company. The modern industrial engineering techniques had their origin during 1940 and 1946. So these are the period during which modern industrial engineering took a change, and the development techniques that were listed that took place during that times are value engineering, then operations research, ergonomics or human engineering, system analysis, advances in IT and computer package, and mathematical and statistical tools. So, when we are discussing about the definition of industrial engineering, we have told you, I have told you about the application of mathematical and sciences into the field of engineering. So, various mathematical and statistical tools were implemented during this period for the increase or the to modernize the techniques that have been used in the industrial engineering. So this is what that comes under, and the field of IT and computer played a huge role in the development of techniques in industrial engineering, and these were incorporated into the production site. So you can see here in the diagram itself, here every functions are controlled by this computer that is provided here. So this computer then controls a part or a machine that is shown here. This may be a conveyor, a lifter, or a crane, etc. And these are then operated by means of a computer rather than a mechanical part wherein numerous people will be there and they have to operate this huge machine. But these are all automated by means of a computer that is provided here. So modern industrial engineering techniques had a huge leap from machine power to auto, automized packages that have been due to the advancement that is done in the computer and IT fields. Then operation research. So various operations that has to be carried out in the production of a product were studied, and each and every process were uh, each and every process were studied, and the economic means for running these operations were carried out and implemented into the production of the product, and that came under operation research. So these are how the modern industrial techniques were incorporated.